Hello, everyone, and welcome to day number 4 of our strategies for a successful summer. Now, today has been a fun-filled day. Earlier this morning, I had an opportunity to chat with Joy Acaso over inside of our Facebook community, Raising Creators, and we chatted about helping our kids dream bigger. So if you are watching and you have kids, definitely go in there, check it out. It's coming down at some point. I just don't know when yet. And now today I get to talk with another fun friend. I want to introduce you to Brittia Kubeczka. Now, Brittia and I have met because we worked with Renee, who was on our show on Tuesday. And so it's fun to come full circle and invite her to share her strategy to help us all have a successful summer. Before I do that, I want to make sure if you are brand new to this page that I introduce myself. My name is Yong, Pratt, and I am the Chief Dreamer right here at our Young Creators. And we are on a mission to help kids learn skills so that they can go out there, serve others, create a future of their choosing, and fund their adventures in the process. And I'm so glad you are here for day number 4. Brittia, thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I absolutely love what you're doing. And my children, as he gets older, they both get older, I can't wait to take part in your group and grow with them as well.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that because I know I've seen your son on some of our mastermind videos. It's so fun to watch him because he definitely is a doer. He is a mover. He likes to make things happen already at a young age. So yeah, as he gets older, we need to harness that energy, harness that enthusiasm, and put it towards something amazing so that he can share his story.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I love it.
Yes, and your little one, you just had a baby recently, and I think she's in the other room sleeping.
She's sleeping. Hopefully we get through this without any food, but she is 7 weeks old now.
That is so awesome. I love it. And I really wanted to bring you on as a guest because I've seen you share your story about how you went from not so great health to then now having really robust health. So can you tell us what inspired you to get into this realm of health, fitness, and wellness?
Yeah, so my journey started when I was 7 years old. I started having seizures. The first one I had happened to be in class full of other 7-year-olds while I was trying to say a Bible speech, recite a Bible verse. And from there, we started going to the doctors and all of these tests getting done, and nobody had any. So at that point, they continued to happen. They were rare, but they would happen. And I decided to take kind of matters in my own hands. I didn't want to take medicine. At 7, I just told my mom I'm not taking medicine, and decided that I was going to take it in my own hands and really pay attention to my body and what it was to me. So kind of from that time on, has been this brain and body connection. Listening to your body, knowing that you feel it, and as women and as moms, it's really hard to slow down.
So Brittia, I'm going to stop you for just a moment. The volume on your side, it's coming through really muffled, and I want to make sure everyone hears you really clearly about this quest that you went on starting at age 7.
Okay, is that any better?
Yes, that is so much better. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. So, yeah, from 7 years old, I just decided to kind of take my health into my own hands and really start paying attention to the things my body was telling me. I kind of continued this obsession through college. I have a degree in health sciences, and I currently do ultrasounds in a hospital. So I know firsthand kind of what happens from the inside out, literally. And it's something that I'm super passionate about, and helping other women really pay attention to their triggers, and not just with seizures, but with all kinds of other things that your body is really telling you that we may not be listening to.
So fascinating. And I want to point out this, that parents listening, Brittia was 7 and she knew that she didn't want to go down the medication road. And I think that in this day and age where it's so easy when you go to the doctor to have them give you a pill to mask some symptoms and never dig down to what it is, but the fact that she knew she wanted to do something for it on her own, one, and then two, for your parents to really support you in that journey, because when your babies are sick, you want to help them get well. So I'm so glad that your parents listened and they went on this quest with you to figure out what was happening.
Yeah, my mom was really on board with it. I guess it's kind of a personality trait. I'm a little bit stubborn. And so I just kind of told her, I don't want to take medicine, and this is what we're going to do. And so, was part of me. Once I was in high school, I rodeoed all the time, and we would be out in the heat and in the sun. And so me and my mom would kind of work together and be like, okay, so we know what my triggers were, that I was poor nutrition, stressful situations, and like lack of sleep, that sort of thing. So she'd be like, okay, are you staying hydrated? Like we were doing the things that we kind of knew once we had pinpointed those triggers. Also, when I was 9 years old, I just told her, I don't want to eat meat anymore. And I haven't ate red meat since I was 9 years old. So that shows my stubborn personality. But my mom was very on board with it as well.
I just want to give your mom a great big hug, because it would be so hard to have to walk this long journey and not know and try and test. And I'm so glad she stuck with you and helped you overcome this. And it's interesting too, because you said you haven't eaten red meat, but you do raise cows though, right?
Yes. It's very strange. I know. My husband always makes fun of me. I live in Texas. We raise cattle. We sell cattle. But even when I was 9, I had 4-H animals, which I sold in auctions. And, my family all ate meat and all that. I just decided it was something that I wasn't going to do. And that's the stubbornness in me. I have a good reason besides I don't want to eat it. So.
Well, absolutely. And we raise animals as well. We don't have any cows, but we've done pigs, and we have chickens and turkeys and ducks and geese and all sorts of fun animals. Yeah, and it's always bittersweet to get to the point where they go from our pet to being on our dinner table. And of course, we're very, very grateful and gracious at that moment, knowing that, they're giving us nutrients for our bodies. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to go from raising animals to then making a choice to not consume them, for sure.
Yeah.
So as we're heading into summer, I know we chatted a few minutes before we hopped on live with the fact that in the summertime, we sometimes keep a little bit more junk food in the house, because when we're out camping or fishing, we just like to snack. And so we have more of those things in the house. But when it comes to summer and the kids are home and they're wanting to munch on this and they want me to watch a movie with them, it's super easy for me to sit with them and we can, finish a whole bag of chips or pretzels or whatever it is. And by the end, I'm thinking, wait, what happened to all those things? How can we better manage those temptations in the summertime?
Yeah, so I have a few tips. We could probably go on for days about this, but a few things is to kind of think ahead. I know school is out, so this is perfect time for this. The kids are going to be home for summer, like you said. You're going to be on the go a lot. But, if you are leaving the house, if you're going camping and fishing, just think ahead and pack that cooler, make sure you're staying hydrated. That's the big thing. When you're outside a lot, kids are running around, you're going to water parks or camping, just stay hydrated. There's little things you can do like that have a huge impact, really. I grew up in summer California heat, and there was plenty of times to be outside riding horses and somebody would get heat stroke. It's like just thinking and remembering to drink water is huge. Another thing you can do to get the kids involved a little bit more is to get them in the kitchen with you. You guys can make fun snacks or, just kind of get them involved. So one, they want to have something to do that'll keep them busy. And two, they may be a little more apt to want to eat some of that stuff. You can make, I don't have these recipes, but you can make like fruit rolls. You can make fresh fruit rolls. just something, or popsicles, make fresh fruit popsicles. So just doing little things like that, that you're thinking ahead and getting them involved. So it keeps them busy and it keeps you busy. Plus you're staying a little healthy.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing those tips. And one of the things I love so much about you and what you do is that you offer these simple tips. It doesn't have to, we don't have to throw everything in our pantry out or our fridge. We can just make one little change. We implement the change, and then we can make another change down the road. But these little baby steps are what's going to help us to have better health and wellness ultimately, for the rest of our life.
Right. It's about making, the compound effect. I don't know if anyone has read that book, but that book was kind of life-changing for me. Oh my gosh, duh. It's stuff that we think about, or that's kind of like obvious stuff, but we don't always think about it. And, just things like eating watermelon is a great summer fruit, taking advantage of summer bounties that are out there. The watermelons and cantaloupe, and just keeping fresh fruit can be that little change. Instead of chips, grab watermelon, and you can snack on watermelon all you want. Tons of sugar in there, but it's good sugar. So it's just about these little things, and it doesn't have to feel so overwhelming and, like stressful, because you're like, oh my God, I can't be thinking healthy right now because the kids are running around and I have stuff to do and I can't worry about all of this. So just making those little changes, adding a cup of water in the morning, or adding a cup of water after your coffee. It's just making simple changes that don't feel so overwhelming. And then once that becomes a habit, then you can start adding in another thing and another thing.
Yeah, I love it. And like you said, The Compound Effect, it's by Darren Hardy. You can get it on Amazon. It's really a short book, a quick read, but when you read it, it definitely reminds us that the little changes we make every single day add up to big effects at the end. And that's exactly what you're saying. And so I really just appreciate that so much.
Yeah, it's really like life-changing when you understand that every decision you make today is impacting your next decision, or a decision that you make tomorrow or the next day. And the same goes with your health. Every decision you make, everything you decide to put in your mouth, every time you decide to stay in bed instead of get up and move, these are impactful decisions. And even though we don't always think about them, they're still happening and still impacting your health.
Absolutely. It's always about being present and being intentional with these choices, right?
Yes. And I think that's kind of where my whole discussion on triggers comes in. It's about being mindful. I did a talk on my page the other day about emotional eating and stressful eating, and how we just eat mindlessly, and we just use food, and we use things that just to pass time sometimes, or but really be mindful and present in listening to your body and paying attention to the kids and what they're eating. That's the kind of stuff that really makes life changes.
Absolutely. And I wanted to talk about moms in particular for just a few moments, because I know I am guilty of this, and you probably have done the same thing, where we really worry about what the kids are eating, buying the organic, making sure they're eating fruits and vegetables, drinking water. When it comes to ourselves, though, we sometimes neglect our own health for the sake of our kids or even our clients. For all of the moms listening out there, can you tell them why we all need to step back and start paying attention to our health?
Yes, I can. This is a huge thing for me too, because you're so right. I think every mom, whether she wants to admit it or not, is guilty of this. We make sure our kids are fed. We'll eat the leftovers. We have client work to do, so we skip lunch. You have other people counting on you, so you forget about yourself. And the reality of that is that all these people that are counting on you, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't give anything to them when it comes down to it. And there's going to be a breaking point at some point, whether that's you've had an emotional breakdown because you just can't give anymore, whether that you end up in the hospital because stress is the killer, or because you were dehydrated because you weren't drinking water. All of these things happen. And unless you are taking the time to put yourself first, something is going to happen down the road. As entrepreneurs and as business women, we are our business. Most of us, don't have this huge team, this huge corporate team behind us. So if we don't show up, if we're sick or we get down and we don't show up, our business isn't showing up. And we can't be there for, all those people that are counting on us. And I like to use the analogy of a car and a gas tank because I have ran out of gas more than once in my car. And that's just like us. If you run out of gas, you're stuck on the side of the road. And when you're stuck on the side of the road, you need help. Unless you're in walking distance, you have to count on somebody else to bring you gas. And that's what's going to happen to you. If you let yourself run out of gas, you're stuck and you have to wait for somebody else to come save you. And a lot of times, especially moms and women, we want to be able to do things ourselves. We want to be able to be in control and help everyone around us. And it's not going to be a fun day when you're stuck on the side of the road.
And that's really such a strong analogy because, yeah, we all can relate to that. And for whatever reason, we can rationalize that situation. But when it comes to us, we forget that we run the same way. If we run out of fuel, we're not able to go. If we run out of fuel, we're not able to serve our clients. If we run out of fuel, our kids get the worst of us, and we definitely don't want to show up as anything less than our best. So thank you so much for that wonderful analogy on taking care of yourself.
We all need a car wash every now and then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. We all need a car wash. Yep, we all need to get detailed every now and then and get pampered and taken care of. So make sure, moms, you're doing those little things for yourselves and show your kids also that you're taking care and taking the time for yourself so they can learn to grow up and also understand the importance of self-care.
Yes, absolutely. That's another huge part of it is that your kids watch you. And my son, he showed me this from day one, and my daughter is already showing me this from day one. But my son not only repeats everything that I say, but he watches what I do, and he does yoga with me, and that's showing him, even though he's a man, he's going to grow up to be a man and have a wife, that's showing him that it's okay for his wife to take care of herself and to put herself first sometimes too. So I think that's a great thing to show your kids as well, whether it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah, and if we have to make sure that you link up some of those videos. Brittia has the best videos of yoga classes where she does time lapse, and you can see her when she's very pregnant and her son is climbing all over her, yet she's still taking the time to care for herself, to model for her son, and now for her daughter that it is important. Everybody needs time to themselves, and I love that you've documented that. So as your kids grow, they can go back and look at that too, or you can pull it out and say, hey, remember when?
I actually have them from the time my son was a baby. So I think he was probably a couple months old, 3 months old maybe. And I have the first video where he's laying down wiggling and I'm doing yoga. That will be fun to show.
Yeah, what a great legacy you're leaving for him in those videos. And it's such a cool thing, like a cool gift to be able to give your son when he's grown and he has his own wife and his own kids, to say, these are, this is what we did together. And that's a cool thing to remember.
Yeah, it is neat.
So if the moms listening who are very busy, if they're dealing with any sort of health or wellness issues, I first want to preface that, please go see your doctor. And, we are not medical professionals, so we're not giving you the advice to, implement verbatim. Definitely consult with your physician for any of these things. But if we are noticing new things arise, whether that's a new ache or pain, or maybe, we're feeling something in our bellies during the day, what is the best way we can start to track these things and maybe see if there are triggers like you had?
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, if it's something new and if it's something that's really bugging you, go see your doctor, of course. But there's things you can do if you are having like a belly ache. Start paying attention to what you're eating. Cut out one thing at a time and just be mindful and pay attention. You can keep some sort of log of when these things are happening or occurring, and try to pinpoint if it's something in your diet or if it's an outside stressor, something that's happening in your life. If you're feeling extra stressed or maybe you haven't been sleeping. So really it's just being mindful. It's being mindful about your surroundings and your situation, what you're eating. So take logs, mark down time of day that it happened and what you were doing, sort of thing. So there's tons of ways you can, there's tons of things that can be happening. But just by being aware of it, taking some notes, you can probably pinpoint, when and where it's happening, and take that information to your doctor as well, if that, if it comes to that.
Absolutely. And recently I actually had to go to the doctor because I was having some crazy heart palpitations. And had I paid attention to some of the clues my body was giving to me, it probably would have resolved on its own. And it ended up having to do not with anything wrong with my heart, but they were letting me know that it had to do with more anxiety and stress. So it's so interesting. But in doing that, I had to wear a monitor for 24 hours and literally keep track of everything. Every time I would, stand up and walk someplace, or I would take the dog out in the backyard and my heart was being elevated, I had to record all those things. Or if I was sitting there being still and all of a sudden my heart starts beating super fast, I had to record it so they could sort of go back and track it. So before that happens to any of you and you have to go to the doctor and think there is something seriously wrong, take Brittia's advice and start documenting things. If you're just not feeling right, our bodies are so smart. Our brains sometimes don't want to listen to our bodies though. So you just put all of that aside, grab out a pen and paper and just start keeping track of any abnormalities in how you're feeling, whether that's your energy or your belly or whatever it is, because that's going to prevent anything more serious long term, or it can help you prevent those things.
Absolutely. And you brought up anxiety and depression are probably the number one cause of things. Gut health, heart palpitations, headaches, dizziness, all of these things can really stem from anxiety and depression. And this is something that I think so many people, even, my age, I am blown away by how many people suffer with anxiety. And I think it's something that we have a little bit of control over. I don't want to, say to all people, it's not a problem. It is a problem. But I think we have a little control over it. And it's something that if you really get into your brain, it's something that you can, take some control over without medicine. Some people obviously need that medicine and get extra medical attention and support. But I think that if you find the right support, if you find the right tools to learn and recognize those triggers, if you will, that can make all the difference. Just having those people that are there for you when something comes up, or having that space that you feel like you can go to and share, and just really being mindful.
Yeah, and I know you have something coming up where you're going to start giving women some space and helping them be able to take charge of your health, and it's kicking off very soon. Can you give us some more details about what you are creating to help women take charge of their health and wellness?
Yeah, so I am opening up my Warrior Wellness Tribe, and that is for busy women, busy moms. And the goal really is to have that sacred space that we could go and find that support and that accountability. There's so many diets being thrown around, and there's so many quick fixes that are thrown in your face daily. And I had just had enough of the quick fixes. I've had enough of the fads and the diets. And I wanted to create this space where women feel that support and take control of their health. And it starts with the inside. It starts with connecting the brain and the body and figuring out how those two things work together. This is a year-long program, and there's a very specific reason for that, and that's because nothing happens overnight. Change does not happen overnight. It takes time. It takes consistency. And I feel like this year-long program is perfect for that. And not only that, but, you know, as moms, there's different phases in our life, and we go through changes monthly, daily, you know, so what's working for you today may not be working in 3 months. You know, I have a 7-week-old. She's going to be moving in 3 more months, you know, so my routine is going to change. When you sign up for a quick fix program, that's not going to change with you. So this program is built to support you through every phase throughout the next 12 months.
And it's so exciting that you're putting this together, because you're taking everything that most of us moms are thinking about. We see these fad diets and we see these workout programs, and we're so tempted to do them, and we buy these things, and you know, we get a couple weeks in and there's not any support, and all of a sudden we're just not doing it, and we get frustrated with ourselves, and the cycle continues on and on. And like you said earlier in this interview, that women don't necessarily like to ask for help. So now you're just giving us permission to say, yeah, I'm important. My health is important. If I don't take charge of my health, no one's going to do it for me. And if no one's doing it, we may not be around for our kids to see them get married or go off to college or have their grand adventure. So I'm so excited you have started this tribe. And I want to say hello to Julie, who just joined. Thanks, Julie, for hopping on. Please feel free to share this video if there's someone you think could hear this message about taking control of our health. Well, Brittia, I want to thank you so much for saying yes to coming on here live to share your story of triumph, and for creating such an amazing place for women to start really valuing their health, valuing themselves, and having a community to support them.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited that it's finally open, and I'm ready to have this space for women to take control of their life again.
That is truly remarkable. And when we are finished, if you would come back and put in the links or where they can find you online about the program and where they can connect with you if they have any further questions, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, everybody, that wraps up day number 4 right here at Our Young Creators. Another wonderful strategy for creating a successful summer. Now, tomorrow I'm coming live again at 1:01 p.m. I am not going to tell you what I'm talking about because, you know, I want to keep it under wraps for now, but just know that it's going to be something fun and something exciting for you. So I will see you right back here tomorrow at 1:01 p.m. Pacific. Cheers, my friends.